Chapter 7: Networking, Mentorship, and Masterminds. If you want to be successful, find someone who has achieved the results you want and copy what they do, and you'll achieve the same results. Tony Robbins. Your network leads to your net worth. Networking is one of the most important principles in achieving success in real estate or any other business endeavor. Most real estate investing transactions involve multiple specialties or experts for transactions to execute properly. Let's quickly look at the different roles or participants involved in a typical single-family home fix and flip project. You have an investor buyer, a seller, a real estate agent or maybe two, a home inspector, an insurance agent, an attorney or title company, various contractors to give bids for the renovation effort, an appraiser, a lender or private investors for funding, and any partners, investors for a joint venture. As you can see, real estate is quite the team sport. Your real estate investing GPS. Your job as an investor is to oversee the team and orchestrate them like a conductor commanding a symphony. Having the ability to have a strong network allows you to lower your overall risk by having the best people working to make sure you are successful. It is extremely important to network with other investors at local Real Estate Investor Association REIA events, meetups, seminars, masterminds, Facebook groups, etc. The saying, "your network is your net worth," is 100% true. Let's jump into a great discussion I caught on the Dreamcatchers podcast. This episode of Jerome Meyer's podcast discussed the power of networking with multifamily investors and the host of the apartment investing show, Adam Adams. Social media is a great way to meet other investors and entrepreneurs to build your network, but it can only carry you to a certain point. All the social media in the world is only going to go so far. Eventually, you've got to lock arms with a group of people and say, "We're going to do this thing together." And so for me, it's masterminds. I've learned through the mastermind that we set up for dads and multifamily is that getting the right people in the room can allow you to make a phone call and solve a problem where you could have spent months trying to figure it out on your own. Jerome went on to explain how he leveraged his mastermind group network when he was underwriting a 200-unit deal that he was thinking about establishing a joint venture with another group of investors. He called one of his buddies from the group, explained the situation, and asked him what he thought he should do. I knew his family has about 4,000 units, which is the reason why I felt comfortable calling him. The year before, he and his dad joint ventured on a 100-unit deal, and he's now to the point where he's got occupancy up to like 95% on a deal that was deeply distressed when they purchased it. Being able to make that call, get that feedback, and know they have a vested interest in you is a game changer. It's great to be able to call on someone who can help you navigate a situation you aren't used to being in. We call it a GPS. You can sit in traffic, or you can use your GPS and navigate the traffic and get to your destination on time. One of the great things I love about Jerome is that he doesn't keep his wealth of knowledge to himself. He goes over and beyond to share with others and add value to them. He created his mastermind group dedicated to dads investing in multifamily. His mission is to build up dads. Often, we as men don't have an outlet to seek mentorship, and we kind of suffer silently. I'll never forget one of my buddies texts to me. He's like, "Hey, I'm dropping my daughter off at daycare, and she screams and cries her eyes out every time I drop her off. Do you have any suggestions or strategies on how this can be less painful?" I wrote him back. After he had that exchange a week later, she now waves at him, and he cries. They figured out how to make the transition. Most individuals won't pick up and read a book when they don't know what to do. However, if there's someone a little bit further along the journey, we can ask the question. But it's not just that. We also deal with multifamily business and how you scale it, how you brand and market it, how you go through and perform your due diligence in operations. The goal is to help build a collective body of knowledge with an intense focus on that, being a better dad, being a better partner, and then being a better leader in your business. Masterminds. I routinely watch professional development videos on YouTube, from industry experts to TED Talks. One specific video I recall is that of the famous author of Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, discussing the power of masterminds. He defined masterminds as two or more people who work in perfect harmony to obtain a definite purpose. Mastermind groups allow you to use other people's education, experience, and influence in carrying out your plans in life. It gives you the ability to accomplish in 1 year more than you could accomplish without it in a lifetime if you depended entirely on your own efforts for success. Even more so today, entrepreneurs can easily become overwhelmed by trying to figure out how to organize their time, stay accountable, and make everything happen for their business or investments without losing their minds. Napoleon presented his research basis, which had the collaboration of practically every successful entrepreneur the U.S. produced during the past 50 years. Their success was due to their knowledge and application of the mastermind principle. I also wish to call your attention to the fact that our great American way of life and our untouchable system of free enterprise have been built upon the mastermind principle. The greatest document ever conceived by the mind of man is a perfect example of the mastermind principle in action. It is the Declaration of Independence, and the best evidence of the importance of maintaining perfect harmony in a mastermind alliance may be found in the fact that 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence knew full well that it might turn out to be either a license of freedom for all mankind or a death warrant, which would cause each of the signers to be paid. One of the key benefits of a mastermind is that it provides a space to unpack difficult puzzles and dig into the challenges you're working through. Napoleon wrapped up his speech by passing along words of wisdom for anyone looking to become successful by leveraging a mastermind. From a mastermind alliance with at least one person in your immediate family and at least one other person among those to whom you are selling your service, you will have gone a long way toward appropriating the great master key to success. There is no such thing as something for nothing. Everything, including your success, has a price that must be paid. A negative mental attitude can bring you nothing but failure. You are where you are and what you are because of your mental attitude with which you relate yourself to other people. Remember, your mental attitude is the only thing over which you have complete control. Success is something that must be earned in advance. Success is the knowledge with which to get whatever you want from life without violating the rights of others by helping others to acquire. There is a known formula for the attainment of success, and it is as definite and certain as are the rules of mathematics or the principles of science. This thing called success is a profound and interesting thing because the line of demarcation between success and failure is so slight that it is often hard to tell where one ends and the other begins. Tony Robbins says, "The quality of your life is most often a direct reflection of the expectations of your peer group." Ultimately, to reach the pinnacle of your abilities, you need to surround yourself not only with those who have been there, but also those actively working on getting there. My first mastermind. I joined my first mastermind group, the War Room, in spring 2020. I was introduced to the group from another Air Force officer and investor, Mr. Blake Daly, at Tyndall AFB, Florida, whom I recently met. This itself is a true testament to the benefit of networking and sharing your vision and goals with other like-minded people. He had a few questions about my experience in the local real estate market. Afterward, he shared with me information about this military, veteran-centric real estate mastermind group he was a part of. At that point in time, I was extremely busy with real estate. We were in the middle of a refinancing, kicking off a new fix and flip project, and just recently completed a walkthrough of the 18-unit apartment I was trying to negotiate the purchase price. Up until that point, I never had a mentor to assist me in building my real estate investing business, and I was acclimated to reading and studying concepts and executing on my own. Mastermind groups can bolster a sense of connectivity and conversation, help keep your business moving forward, and they can provide critical insights for leveling up faster in your business. After learning more about multifamily and seeing the power of networking back at a multifamily seminar in October 2018, I knew I needed to find the right group to continue growing. It took me almost another month before I reached out to Dave Perry, the mastermind group founder, to join up. This single decision took my real estate portfolio and investing business to another level. I had to wait a couple of weeks to be placed in a squad with 4 or 5 other investors based on the inflow of new members. I eventually ended up in the Gold Squad. We had a straightforward battle rhythm meeting every week on Sunday evenings as a group. Our plan was structured and aligned to maximize results for the squad. We kick off our meetings to capture our successes from the previous week and the highs-lows of the week. Next, we dive into our accountability for those tasks, goals we gave ourselves to complete the following week. After everyone has had a chance to comment and provide their responses, we transition to the hot seat, which is a 30-minute focus session for one of the team members. We usually cycle everyone through unless they defer. The hot seat allows the team member to present a challenge they are facing in their investing journey that the group can provide feedback, suggestions, and referrals to assist. My second week with the group had me on the hot seat, sharing my real estate journey and experience thus far and my current apartment deal that I recently got under contract. It was mid-March, and at this point, I had the apartment under contract and was in the middle of the due diligence period. Additionally, COVID-19 was starting to become a larger threat, starting to bear down on life as we knew it. After sharing the details of the deal, I had one of my Gold Squad members, Rory Compton, approach me after the following weeks, meeting upon coming into the deal as a general partner GP and raising some capital. I'll talk more about the syndication construct and the role of a GP in our multifamily chapter. This was a blessing from God. Our purchase price for the apartment was $1.5 million, and the credit union required a 20% down payment, $210,000 plus $13,000 in closing costs. I had a couple of private investors that were originally slated to invest, but the unexpected tanking of the stock market and businesses being forced to close their doors made it an extremely tough time to invest for some. Rory was able to step in and raise $75,000 for the deal, which allowed me to leave enough capital in my business to keep on track. From day one, based on our appraisal, we had over $200,000 in equity with a solid business plan to add $150,000 over the next year. Without joining the mastermind and Gold Squad, who knows how my first multifamily deal would have gone down. More than just real estate. Another benefit of a mastermind group is accountability. All of us are veterans, with some still on active duty, so we are fairly disciplined already. However, it's hard to get in front of your peers and tell them you fell short of reading 10 pages every day, working out, calling 5 brokerers during the week, getting new postcards sent out, or whatever the task may be. We constantly push each other to grow and never settle. We are there for one another on a personal level, whether it's dealing with a spousal situation or losing a parent. Our group has been there for one another to help rally behind each other when it's needed. Our initial bond was made through real estate, but it has grown to be a pillar foundational in our success in multiple areas of our lives. Without a doubt, being in this group has changed my real estate and life journey for the better. I have seen apartment investors with no portfolio and no deal track record go from 0 to over 200 units in less than a year. They were fortunate enough to have a seasoned mentor who introduced them to a broker they have done deals with before. As I performed consulting calls with more and more aspiring investors, I realized everyone cannot process information and execute successfully with little to no guidance along the way as I did. Mentorship allows you to shortcut the process and avoid those pitfalls others have fallen into. Wisdom is learning from others' mistakes instead of your own mistakes. During the podcast episode I mentioned earlier in the chapter between Jerome and Adam, the host Adam shared an experience from leading a mastermind group. Adam shared he was a member of a couple of mastermind groups. I love mastermind groups as it really helps you grow who you are as a person. I run a mastermind group, but these mastermind groups are very much focused on just business. I remember a time that I got vulnerable. I jumped out and I said something in this mastermind group we were in. They were in West Palm Beach, and Adam was really working to build his company within the multifamily syndication space. There were a lot of things happening, and he was really working to scale his company's brand in front of other people and get his podcast out while working on a couple of deals that they closed that they were having some challenges. I remember trying to think and consider, what am I going to talk about today in the mastermind? I couldn't talk about this, or this, or this, or this, because there's a lot of challenges. When I got up in front of the room, I just came to tears, and all I said was, I just want to spend time with my kids. I am so focused on success in business, growing, and going to the next level that I'm leaving my kids behind. There were a bunch of people around. It wasn't necessarily the right place for that because it was more about business. But what was interesting is the support that I got after just being completely transparent, not trying to pretend like I was the best dad in the whole world. And I just let them know this is what I'm challenged on. I want to spend more time with my kids, but I don't know how. Luckily, he was in good company because many people in the room had the same challenge, and they were already very successful. You had multiple individuals in the group with thousands of apartment units and net worths ranging from tens of millions of dollars to hundreds of millions of dollars, and they had gone through the same thing. He received guidance and insight on how to fix it, and it made a tremendous difference in his life. Implementation. If you are a hard charger and self-motivated, you can probably figure out how to become successful at being a real estate investor. However, you will make mistakes along the way. Your hope is none of them are catastrophic and cause you to lose money and time. In a study by Career Horizons, research shows that 70% of all jobs are not published publicly on job listing sites, and up to 80% of jobs are filled through personal and professional networks of current employees. Networking and mastermind groups lower your risk level while simultaneously increasing your ability to achieve success and wealth faster. At the end of the day, you want group members who will go all in with you, setting large goals, having determination, big dreams, and passion. Your hunger will drive your success, but you must surround yourself with other like-minded investors choosing to live their passion. This principle goes back as far as the 6th century BC. Confucius wrote, "If you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. If you take his advice, you can achieve all your life's dreams. You become like those you hang around." Additionally, I challenge you to find at least one multi-day real estate event to attend in the next 6 months. Back in October 2021, I attended my first in-person real estate investing event for the entire year, Flip Hacking Live, led by Bill Allen, and to say it was phenomenal is almost an understatement. I met dozens of real estate investors and heard great presentations with tactics I can use in my business. Do you have a real estate mentor assisting you on your journey? Have you ever considered joining a mastermind? If you want to become a successful real estate investor, then you must start hanging around more successful real estate investors. I encourage you to perform some research and decide if a results-focused mastermind is right for you. In 2021 alone, I have spent over $40,000 to join 2 mastermind groups to broaden my network and to help take my real estate business profit from 6 figures to 7 figures. If you are interested in learning more about my Millionaire Real Estate Success Mastermind, then simply go to www.johnnylinham.com. From there, you can sign up for one-on-one consultation. This is the last chapter in this section dedicated to the habits and traits of successful real estate investors. The next section will dive into those real estate investment strategies you can implement immediately to build your $1 million portfolio. Never forget, you are the average of the 4 or 5 people in your life you spend the most time around.